Daily Double Pod,
Oh, yeah.
recording for the first time in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Let's go, racing fans.
Pretty exciting. So we have the Jim Dandy this weekend, Saratoga.
Right.
Let's do a little bit of history on the Jim Dandy. We were just talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, the Jim Dandy's a little bit interesting because in the year 1930, the great horse Gallon Fox, who had won the Triple Crown, was running at Saratoga in the Travers against three horses. One horse that it was run against was Which One. Which One had beaten Gallon Fox the year before, and everybody thought Which One had a chance to make this a really great race. Two long shots were in the race, Sun Falcon at 40-1 and Jim Dandy at 100-1. Okay? Now, the track was muddy and it rained all day Friday. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was at the racetrack. He was the governor of New York. Big crowd, right? The race goes off. They said the middle of the track was the place to be. Which One and Gallon Fox pretty much getting a speed duel. They just kind of hang out together, thinking that's the only horse they got to beat. They're in the middle of the track, on the crown of the track. They're running. They're coming down the stretch, starting to tire, both of them. Jim Dandy scoots up the rail, wins the race by 7 lengths at 100-1. Okay?
That's
at
crazy.
100-1. Gallon Fox holds on for second, and Jim Dandy becomes a folk hero because he wins at 100-1. It's kind of a great name.
It is.
Jim Dandy is a great person or a fun person. You know what I mean? If you're
how soon thereafter did they create this race and or name this
Not
race
till
after
1964. I wonder what the heck they
What took
waited
so
for.
long?
I don't know. But 34 years later, somebody came up with the idea, and they made this race.
And we talked a little bit about how Saratoga is known. We said Graveyard of Champions and Graveyard of Favorites. Turns out it's known by both.
Oh, yeah.
But this race actually played a little bit of a part in that name
Yes,
as well.
yes. This was major in it because Gallon Fox was, he was only the second horse to win the Triple Crown. So he was revered in the country. And, they were there to see him. They were there to see the champion win. Like, they're here to see Sovereignty win tomorrow.
Yeah. So, okay, let's jump right to it. Tomorrow, which would be Saturday, July 26th. We're looking at the Jim Dandy Stakes specifically. We're going to preview it for you here. It'll be race 10 tomorrow, mile and 1/8 on the dirt, with a purse of
$500,000.
$500,000. We have 5 horses in the race. We have the number 1 Baeza. We have the number 2 Sandman, the internet TikTok sensation, if you will. Moplex, ridden by Manny Franco, Jeremiah Englehart, coming off of 2 impressive wins. Hill Road, no shot at all. And Sovereignty, 2-5. Why do you think we only got 5 horses in this race?
Who would want to take a chance against a horse that's good? If I have a decent 3-year-old. I mean, Baeza certainly has qualifications to be in the race and run second.
Sure.
And I don't think Hill Road matches up with these.
No.
And I would say Moplex is the only horse that throws a little wrench into the race and is the lone speed in the race. Makes the race interesting. Certainly it's a New York bred, it's a state bred. The horse loves Saratoga. He just wins the Ohio Derby. It was a decent effort. He's going to be a lone speed on a racetrack that's probably going to play speed. But how could he be this good?
Definitely.
What do you think?
How could he what could he do differently from the Belmont at Saratoga? Although that's a 1.25 miles. What could he do differently here? I guess. We're talking about Moplex.
Yeah,
I'm looking
Moplex.
at Hill Road. Can't do anything. Moplex, Moplex being forwardly placed definitely makes sense. Is he good enough to beat Baeza and Sandman? I think that's the question.
I would say he's probably, if he's feeling good, he's going to be running by himself. The horse will be running by himself. There's no speed at all in the race.
Sure.
Even if Sovereignty tried to show speed, he wouldn't be this kind of speed. This horse, didn't he run some sprints that were exceptional last year?
Yeah, some unbelievable. I mean, like you said, 1 for 1 at the distance, 2 for 2 at the track. Jeremiah Englehart.
And we get Manny Franco, Matty?
10-1. Okay, so maybe as you look, and I'll hand this back over to you here, because I've been making some power plays on the podcast with some exactas. You think there's a world where we go $50 straight exacta tomorrow? Sovereignty, Moplex. I think Sandman may actually be better than Baeza. I may go Sovereignty over Moplex and Sandman two $50 straight exactas. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm not overwhelmed with Sandman. I still think the Baeza might be a better horse. I don't necessarily like the fact that Pratt's not riding him. Pratt's going to be riding Nisos in California in the
Yeah.
San Diego Handicap.
Yeah.
Hector Berrios is certainly a worthy replacement. I like
Yeah.
Hector Berrios. But ultimately, Sandman, you know, I, mean, I think he could run good, but is Irad riding Sandman?
Jose on Sandman.
Jose on Sandman. What do you like Sandman?
I just think that he's another horse that just kind of always shows up. Like I was looking through his past performances, and he just kind of always shows up. So his only bad race here is the Kentucky Derby, which I haven't really seen the backtrack of his race specifically to know if he got in any trouble. But the horse hasn't run worse than third really ever.
Has he hit 100 by her?
He hasn't cracked 100, and that's a good point because Baeza has cracked 100 by her 3 times.
Exactly.
It could be a difference.
I mean, the numbers are there for the one. I don't know how would the workouts on the one. Which in your estimation?
Take a peek.
Let's take
What
a
do you
peek.
think?
I mean,
It's
look, it's John Sheriff's. I mean, it's kind of interesting that he runs him here after we saw Sovereignty beat him by 6. All right.
yeah, true.
But take a look at this. June 20th, we get a 48-3 workout average.
Yep.
Then we get a 46-2 workout. Huge improvement. Then on July 4th, he runs 111-1 handily.
Mhm.
Then there's another one on July 11th, 112-2. And then he runs a 59-4. It seems like this horse's workouts have improved dramatically. So I think this horse gets the rail. It's got McKinsey blood. Maybe they're trying to get this horse a little closer to the pace tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think with Moplex going, I think Hector sends this horse into the second slot.
Really?
Off of these workouts.
Okay.
Off of these workouts.
Okay.
These are fast workouts. Why would
Yeah.
you?
Okay.
I think he goes into the second slot, and then I think Sovereignty overruns them. I would say it would be Sovereignty over Moplex and Baeza. That's my feel.
Well,
I think Sandman's a good horse,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It just seems like he keeps running the exact same race over and over again.
yeah. So let me ask you this: if I put myself into the shoes of a horse player, and someone came to you and said, "Hey, Paul, I'm not betting the race. There's only 5 horses, and one of them's 2 to 5. There's no money to be made."
No,
How would you respond?
I would certainly understand that if just from the sportsmanship angle. I mean, we got an automatic on Sovereignty to win. All right, we got an automatic.
Right. Mhm.
If you feel strong on 2 horses, you maybe can get a nice $20 trifecta. You know what I mean? That could pay $10. You can get 100 for $20.
Sure.
You know,
You kind of have to power move it a little bit more when it's a small field. I feel like you know what I mean.
And your point on Sandman. Here's the good thing about Sandman. Moplex may be overmatched in class.
Sure.
So
True.
we've seen.
True.
We'll see horses that look like, but I don't know. It's a lone speed horse. You're always concerned. You're always concerned about that. You know.
So here's my take.
What do you think?
You know how we sent our message last time to Junior in the Belmont Stakes?
Yeah.
I think that this race is going to. So just last weekend, we saw Journalism win in the Haskell. And it felt like people came away from the Haskell like, all right, Journalism ran well, but the race didn't necessarily lend itself to make you like, I want to see the rematch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My opinion for this race is, I think that in horse racing, sometimes the fields can be so small that you get a little bit of a skewed outcome because horses get loose on the lead, and sometimes races get a little wonky, and then races can be too big, like the Kentucky Derby, to where you have trouble trips and you have issues like that. I think Sovereignty wins tomorrow, but I don't think he wins as impressive of a fashion as he's been winning. I think it's similar to like a Journalism where he kind of just grinds somebody down at the end who maybe gets loose or gets an early jump on him. And I think after tomorrow, although I'm a diehard Sovereignty goer and I'll be rooting for him tomorrow, I think after tomorrow, people will be thinking maybe Journalism has a chance. I really think that.
You too. I don't know. I don't feel it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I think you'll see Sovereignty run away from these horses at the end of the race. I think he'll just stay in position and run the last 70 yards and just
Just mow him
three,
down.
4 lengths, 3, 4 lengths ahead of the field. And I think he'll put himself at the top of the list. But he goes. I still wouldn't. I mean,
So, okay, how are you betting the race? We'll
I
wrap it up
you know
with
what?
how you feel about it.
I would say after looking at these workouts on Baeza,
Mhm.
I would say Baez is the most legitimate horse to run second, but it will probably be the smallest exacta.
Sure.
Well, all these horses are good and get respect. Sandman is, I mean, we got Chad Brown with Hill Road. I mean, I think the exacta though could pay. If the exacta came out, Baez it could pay $4.40.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be worthwhile. I think this is
True.
more of a sportsmanship type of race that you just want to enjoy and whatnot. I don't see where you can make any money. We're gonna single them in our late pick five tomorrow
Sure.
or something
Makes sense.
for that. But other than that, I don't see anything. Other than Moplex. Moplex is the only one that's getting the real positive move to
Yeah.
run by himself.
Yeah.
He's gonna run by himself.
So, my prediction is journalism wins, but it's closer
You
than
mean
it needs to
Sovereignty?
be. Jeez Louise, journalism. Yeah, Sovereignty wins, but it's closer than it needs to be. I think Moplex ends up running second and or just getting beat by Sandman. Baeza comes in fourth, or in fourth. Uh, Junior Alvarado, don't take the field too lightly and think that you're just going to walk in there tomorrow and crush these horses, because this is going to be a closer race than people think. I feel like the Daily Double Pod's been pretty accurate with like 4 big races in a row, and I felt really good last time, and I got a
You've
little
been pretty
nervous.
hot.
I
You've
got a
been
little
pretty
nervous
hot.
energy this time that everyone thinks this is a shoe-in, and I think that this is a race, especially after you bang a 109 buyer. It's hard to repeat a performance like that. So there's also a world where he sinks back into like a 105, and maybe somebody can push up and run a 103 or 104. Who knows? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I just think this is a champion. I think it's the
Yeah,
best
I
three-year-old.
still think he
I
wins.
think it's the best three-year-old in the world. And I just think that you got Billy Mott, and I just think that this horse is in position. I'd say wins by 3 3/4 lengths. 3 3/4 length victory probably over Baez. That's
That's what you like? I like it.
that's what I would say.
Okay, so that is our preview. We'll do next week. We'll be back for a recap of the race. That's our preview for the Jim Dandy Stakes tomorrow. Stay tuned because you're going to get a pretty sweet look into a late pick 5 sequence with my dad and our cousin. That'll be out same day this comes out. So when you see this, the other one is available. Yeah, so they'll be on. Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you soon.
Right on, sports fans. Jim Dandy.